Hi guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. So, what are we doing today? We're taking a look at the Greek Tier 8 Archers. So, I've wanted to play these guys for quite a long time. They don't normally come out with me. I'm not really a massive fan of the Greek Archers. But there's been some quite significant changes to the way Hunt is being implemented in the game, particularly with the last 3.1.13 patch. And I kind of wanted to have a look at that. And I kind of wanted to try it out to see what it's like. So, if you didn't see my patch video explaining about this, then in essence, Hunt has been changed in a few ways. One, it's had an increase to its base targeting range. So its targeting range should now be as long as, if not longer than, the range of the actual archers themselves. So that's really quite nice. On top of that, they have applied this base minus 20 missile block chance, which is really going to kind of change things. It's the only ability in the game which applies sort of a negative missile block chance to enemy units. And it's going to allow you to sort of select and target enemy units to sort of apply this negative missile block chance. So if I'm shooting at, say, barbarian archers, which have around about 30 missile block chance because they have shields, then they're going to be able to, that's going to drop off because their missile block chance is then going to go from 30 to 10, and it's going to be a lot more competitive in terms of sort of shooting each other out. It's also going to mean in terms of a decap situation, you know, if Romans in Testudo, you know, if they've got 115 missile block, which would normally make them entirely impervious to missiles, could lower that down to 95 with the Hunt and then start to get some shots in and maybe reset the cap. So it could open up a few interesting possibilities, and units that are traditionally safe are no longer quite as safe as perhaps they once were. So yeah, that's all there is to say really. We're going to hop into a battle with them. I don't think these guys are fully upgraded at tier 8. No, they're not quite all there yet. I've still got a little bit in terms of some of the extra weapons and stuff to get and things like that, but we're not too bad, and that's certainly good enough for what I kind of want to demonstrate in this video. So let's hop into a game and see how we get on. So we are loading into battle with our Greek archers. I have no idea where I'm going to go. I'm not paying sufficient attention. I didn't get a good spot, early spot. I guess we'll push up here onto this sort of flag point, at least at the start. A little bit way behind, so we'll have to get our rapid advance going. And then we'll just see if we can take advantage of this Hunt, try and get some good damage in some of the enemy units, and at least just kind of experiment with it a little bit, which is what I kind of want to do in this video. So let's get ourselves moving, let's get our rapid advance on, and a bit of dash so we get some good movement speed and start to get up to some of our allies, because obviously we don't want to leave ourselves too undefended or anything. We have got heavy infantry moving up across the centre. So let's see what we can do against them if we can get moving. How much cavalry is on our team? 2, 3 units. Okay, so there's probably going to be a fair chunk of enemy cavalry kicking around as well, which might be bad for us. And looks like that enemy artillery is going straight into hiding, so I'm a little bit exposed here. So let's perhaps pull down to these Romans down here, see if they can provide us with a little bit of support.
Quick, march!
Is that friendly cavalry? Yes, it is. Some light artillery there. It's going to be a bit of a pain, because that's going to be able to get some really good damage in really early on. Although mistakes in front of that. Got to be careful of that sort of thing as cavalry. Okay, so let's keep moving up to get our rapid advance on. And my infantry are going really quite ham, really, which is quite what I would have liked. What are we going to do? I don't really like this sort of central way this is going. I don't like all the cavalry around here. Now I'm thinking I'm going to go up here, to be honest.
Double time!
Just thinking sort of more about my own protection. There's not really a lot I can contribute here without hitting lots of allies anyway. At least over here there's not immediate amounts of cavalry. I've got stuff I can pull back to behind these stakes, for example, and we may be able to get some shots on these enemy infantry as they come around the top of this hill. So let's go. Let's go for a strain. I'm going to straight off the barrage, to be honest. We've got good visibility. We should be able to get good amounts of damage in. Let's go for a Hunt in these guys. So we're losing. They're losing their missile block chance even further than what it already is, down to 28. Look, with our Hunt activated, so we should be doing good damage against them every time we're getting hits. So have these guys got Fight in the Shade on? Doesn't look like they have. No, so we're going to do good initial damage. Again, let's hunt them. They've gone for Fight in the Shade, and they are still going to take damage from us. Look, they are still taking damage, even though they've got Fight in the Shade on, and that would normally block all missile damage, but now it doesn't. We've got to think about getting the hell out of here, though. And I've not got a lot to pull back to in terms of support, have I? Which is, of course, a minor point of concern. Let's try and keep our fire on. Try and keep the amount of damage you're doing. I think they're just going to push straight through us, though. We've got some Libyan infantry coming back. Is that friendly cavalry? It is. Nice, nice, nice. The Greek player has finally realised that his cavalry is still in the middle of the road. Our own unit's going to get overwhelmed very shortly, so Let's try and keep some damage on in here. I find that quite impressing, quite depressing, really, that you can still do damage against people who are in full fight in the shade, which is supposed to be a 100% missile block chance, so that you're not taking damage. You're still taking a good amount of damage there. It's not really a positive thing, in my opinion. We're obviously only doing base damage against these guys, so we're not doing phenomenal amounts. As our allies get in, though, I think we'll probably cease fire there, because we're going to start causing more damage than is reasonable. We have now got a scary amount of cavalry. Scary amount of cavalry. Run for the stakes. Not before we get a quick shot off them. Those is not going to end well for those guys down there. So let's go for him. I'm going to barrage him. See how well cavalry stands up against a barrage. I wouldn't have thought particularly well. Let's try and get a thing to lower his Hunt to lower his missile block, make him even more vulnerable. Still being slightly attacked by some enemy spearmen. Where are you going? Can we get a flanking modifier on them? Yes, we can. There we go. Cool. We routed them. So let's start to emerge back out of these stakes, see what our position is. This battle's really starting to turn against us now. We've not actually got that much damage on so far. Start to get some shots into the back of these Greek cavalry here. Looks like our legions are pulling out, so hopefully we won't do too much friendly fires. We're hitting on the sides. That's my hope, at least, anyway. And we're now getting, looks like, a lot of light artillery pushing up around here, and some cleavers, some falxmen, which might be quite vulnerable to archers. They have really low missile block chances naturally anyway. And also get a couple of shots on these guys. Looks like our hunt cools down pretty quickly for every time I'm ready to sort of use it again, which is nice. It means we can keep that sort of damage potential up. I just really like the fact, or dislike it, but when you're playing archers, I really like the fact that you can always get damage against people, even if they've got access to that sort of full missile block. So let's start taking some damage on these guys. Not causing a little bit of friendly fire here. Well, I'll go for a hunt actually. Although they've got pretty negligible missile block anyway. It might take their missile block down to something crazy. Yes, for 4 damage. That is pretty ridiculous at that sort of level. So let's turn around and start to get some focus fire on these elephants. Maybe. How's this battle looking? Still not good. Still not good. We're actually more threatened probably by those light artillery. So let's push straight up. Push hard, push hard, push hard. They've realised what I'm trying to do to them. They're clever because I could hunt them. Let me hunt them. Slay them. I'm going to be careful that I'm going to get caught by those falcons otherwise. Get shots, get shots, get shots.
The enemy attack our base.
If it'll let me barrage them.
Our men are under attack.
Oh, I'm being hit by cavalry. Oh, got too distracted. I'm going to pull back a unit of these guys if they can. And now I want to get my own units out. Blimey! This is not going quite as I had planned. And that light artillery is getting tons and tons of damage against me. I've lost my hunt against them. I now can't escape from their units. I've got these cavalry all over me. Try and get back around them. We are being capped out by enemies. Have we got anything heading back to base? Oh, we have. This does not look good. Run away! Come on, my little archers. Run, my children. I don't think we're going to be able to do a lot here, unfortunately. I'm not going to be able to get back on way too far to be able to get back to defend on the base. But it kind of does show a little bit how Hunt works. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. How can someone still have 3 full-strength cavalry units? Okay, well, that certainly shows that that's not going to go very well for us, and we have certainly lost that one. But hopefully that kind of highlights a little bit some of the damage potential that Hunt has available to them. The fact that you can now be targeting specifically units that previously are invulnerable to missile fire from the front, and now they're not. Like those tier 7 fight in the shade Leonidas spears. They're tier 7. That missile block chance would have been over 100 traditionally, but that -20 that you're applying with your hunt now means they're vulnerable. And while in that sort of situation there, while I was shooting them, and I only racked up a couple of thousand damage, isn't that effective in terms of a gameplay move. It does have quite a few interesting effects, I think, when it's going to come down to doing things like base decapping, because now that's going to mean that traditionally units that can sort of sit in base and decap and are vulnerable to archers for anything but the rear are now going to be fully vulnerable from the front, because I can just activate the hunt on them, get shots in, and end up beating them. So it's going to kind of change that around quite a bit. I think it's a bad thing. I don't see why they've done it. It does make it kind of fun, a little bit extra to play when you're playing archers, but I really don't think archers needed a buff at this sort of time. Really, is it necessary? So I don't see why they really bothered doing that. But still, it's in the game now. Hopefully they maybe will think about it and either turn it down or take it away. I think the increased targeting range is a good thing, but the missile block chance seems unnecessary to me. Anyway, so yes, that's kind of the changes they've made to Hunt. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for lots more Total War Arena content. And yeah, I shall see you all on the next video.